2023 Ohio train derailment. On February 3, 2023, a freight train carrying hazardous chemicals, including vinyl chloride, derailed and exploded in the village of East Palestine, Ohio, United States. The derailed train was Norfolk Southern freight train ERN. It consisted of 141 loaded cars, 9 empty cars, and 3 locomotives from the Terminal Railroad Association of St. Louis Yard in Madison, Illinois to Norfolk Southern's Conway Yard in Conway, Pennsylvania. Train derailment and chemical spill in East Palestine, Ohio. Derailment caused a fire which lasted for several days. On February 6, in order to prevent an explosion, emergency crews managed the fire into a controlled burn which allowed for a monitored, gradual release of burning toxic chemicals. The burn released hydrogen chloride and the highly toxic phosgene into the air. A massive emergency response by agencies from 3 states began and led to the mandatory evacuation of residents within a 1.6 radius. No deaths or injuries were reported. Derailment. About 50 cars derailed around 8:55 p.m. local time on February 3, 2023 in East Palestine, a town of 4,800 residents near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. 20 of the 141 cars were classified as carrying hazardous materials, 14 of which were carrying vinyl chloride. Other chemicals included combustible liquids, butyl acrylate, and benzene residue. About 48 hours later, the National Transportation Safety Board said it had preliminary findings that a mechanical problem on an axle of one of the cars led to the derailment. Trains were not equipped with electronically controlled pneumatic brakes, which a former Federal Railroad Administration official said would have reduced the severity of the accident. In 2017, Norfolk Southern had successfully lobbied to have regulations requiring their use on trains carrying hazardous materials repealed. Emergency response. Nearly 70 emergency agencies from Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania mobilized in response. East Palestine Mayor Trent Conaway declared a state of emergency on February 5 as the fires continued to burn. Temperature increases raised fears of a catastrophic tanker failure which could cause an explosion with the potential of deadly shrapnel traveling up to a mile. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine ordered the evacuation of all residents within a 1-mile radius and activated the Ohio National Guard to assist local authorities. DeWine said this is a matter of life and death. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro ordered an evacuation in areas of Beaver County which bordered the site. Officials in both states began going door to door to evacuate residents in February 6. The emergency crews conducted a controlled release and burn of toxic chemicals into the air to prevent an explosion. The burn released phosgene and hydrogen chloride into the air. Officials said that the air quality readings were not showing anything concerning. Residents in nearby Mahoning and Trumbull counties reported a chemical smell in their areas, and officials in the Youngstown region advised residents to stay indoors. On February 9, the evacuation was lifted after the U.S. EPA reported that the air inside and outside the evacuation zone was back to normal levels as seen prior to the train derailment. While toxins were detected at the derailment site, outside of the site they were not. The Ohio EPA reported that toxins from the train cars spilled into the waterways, but that drinking water was safe. Impact and reactions. The train derailment reignited national discussion of industry working conditions and safety issues, lack of modern brake safety rules, precision scheduled railroading (PSR), reduced railway workers per train and increased train lengths and weight. Train companies have been criticized by some for failing to invest in train maintenance meant to prevent accidents. Even as those companies conduct stop buybacks. In February 8, several businesses and residents filed 3 class action lawsuits against Norfolk Southern Railway. Fear and uncertainty persisted in some residents after the area was declared safe due to risks of long-term exposure to residual hazardous chemicals. Numerous reports circulated of sick children and ill or dead pets, and wild animals. Experts are additionally concerned with the dioxins possibly produced in the burning of vinyl chloride and residual unburned vinyl chloride. The gaseous pollutants are expected to dissipate quickly in air, but dioxin is persistent. On February 8, Evan Lambert, a reporter for NewsNation, was approached by two state troopers of the Ohio Highway Patrol and Major General John C. Harris, Jr. of the Ohio Adjutant General's Department for being loud during his report while reporting live in a gymnasium behind the press conference of DeWine. A confrontation ensued between Major General Harris and Lambert. State troopers and other nearby authorities then intervened in an attempt to break the two up, all of which was caught on nearby cell phone and body camera footage. Harris later stated to officers that Lambert had approached him in an aggressive manner and that I instinctively put my hands on his chest to keep him from bumping into me, which I felt was inevitable if I had not protected myself. Lambert was eventually moved out of the gym and then forced to the ground and arrested. He was charged with criminal trespass and disorderly conduct and released later in the day. Governor DeWine decried the event by lambasting the actions of authorities, stating that Lambert had the right to be reporting and condemned any obstruction from authorities upon the press by asserting that certainly is wrong and it's not anything that I approve of. In fact, I vehemently disapprove of it.